People are saying that there is a restaurant clip that has come out of nowhere. Apparently, JK is having someone on his lap. We also have JK talking about himself and him feeling like he is not perfect, as well as pictures of V actually going viral and what those are. Say Dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Let's get into it. Every time new pictures of V come out, people are freaking out. But of course, this time it's a little bit different because these are pictures that are of him in the military. So we definitely haven't seen him in a long time. Coupled with the fact that people freak out in general over pictures, make these never before seen military pictures even more valuable. And yes, we are getting into some apparent never before seen military photos. These photos were shared by a user on Twitter, and apparently this user posted about 3 or 4 pictures of V in his uniform, and they seem like real pictures. They don't seem edited because they don't seem similar to any other picture, but also the location seems like a place V would be. These are all pictures that were apparently taken near Compose Coffee, and he was the ambassador of the brand. His pictures were everywhere, so him being in his uniform and getting to see the advertisements being there of him was very cool. And it was likely the first time he got to see it. I assume the person who posted these pictures likely were people who he was hanging out with in the military. So other soldiers that took the pictures and I guess just decided to post them. Maybe they asked for permission and he said yes, who knows. These are all definitely very cute photos, and I think people had definitely had a moment with them because this is the first time that we have seen him in a really long time in this more very candid way, because he hasn't really been posting these photos himself. And I don't know how I'm gonna sound saying this, but he doesn't look perfect in a sense where it's like he's staged. He looks extremely human in these pictures, right? In some of the pictures, you can kind of see that he might have a little bit of eye bags. You can see that he is like half smiling. You can see that he is being cute by putting up the peace sign. And okay, maybe he doesn't have eye bags, but he obviously looks very human. You can tell that he's not really wearing makeup and it's very natural. This makes me extremely happy to see these photos, and it makes me extremely happy to know that he is being loved and treated this way by his community. It's cool to see that he has friends that he has met in the military that went out to take him to have coffee, but also to kind of celebrate his ambassadorship maybe, and his pictures being all over the shop. So I think these pictures actually tell a lot of the story and tells us a lot of what's going on with him, which is why these pictures are so exciting for us to see. And for a lot of people, they mean a lot to kind of be able to use these photos as a way to catch up with him and make sure that he's okay and make sure that he is doing well, because we don't want to just see that he is okay. We want to see that he is doing well. And I'll say he's not just doing well, he actually looks extremely buff and a little bit bigger. So we know that he's doing really well and he looks fantastic. Aside from those beautiful pictures, there have been some clips, or should I say interview excerpts, that have gone viral. I've mentioned this before, there are a lot of new people that are entering the community. So they kind of go through some of the content that I think the community has already gone through, but sometimes they see things that maybe we had missed on our first go. And so those things brought up again, just like the first time. So these are good things to have a conversation about. At least I think it is. I thought it was extremely interesting to see this moment in which apparently JK calls himself a hexagon. There's more to it, but he calls himself a hexagon because hexagons represent this ideal shape, and he calls himself a hexagon with cracks in it. So he says that he knows that he can sing and that his voice is good enough to be successful, but he feels that in general, as a celebrity or maybe as a talent, he is not perfect and he always aspires to be perfect. But there will always be cracks in it or imperfections in it, and thus he calls himself a hexagon with cracks. I definitely find it interesting that maybe Koreans would consider a hexagon to be a perfect shape. I don't know if this is something that just JK considers or if it's like all Koreans. Then it seems like, is he speaking for everybody, or is this something that most Koreans agree with? I don't know. In my opinion, a circle is kind of the perfect shape, but I digress. It's interesting to kind of acknowledge and be aware that you are good enough and that he doesn't lack self-esteem in that department. He's aware that he is perfect, but that he just knows that he has like cracks. But people are always going to have to work towards being perfect, and I think that that is something I want to talk about. I often feel a specific type of way when I see people say that they aspire to be perfect, because quite frankly, I don't really understand what is the aspiration to be perfect, because the people who even other people consider perfect will get made fun of too. If you see someone like at school who likes to sit very perfectly and very perfect in the way they move. And sometimes they might like, I don't know, whatever. You'll see people in school or kids or whoever look at someone like that and still call that person a freak. Of course, I'm not saying that if that's the way you are or if you move that way or whatever, that you are a freak, but I'm saying I don't understand the aspiration to be any other type of person other than yourself, because no matter what you are, people are going to make fun of you. But also there's no such thing as a perfect pop star either. Who would you consider that exists currently to be a perfect pop star? Because while you might consider that person to be perfect, another fan or music lover might come in and say, actually, I like this pop star better. This is something that I see the boys talk a lot about extensively within themselves, as they say, I need to be perfect. I need to do the best of the best. And I don't think they fully understand what it is that really means. In art, there is no such thing as perfect. And if art is perfect, then it's boring and it's not good. So I really hate when I see artists strive to be perfect, because I don't want to see perfect art. I want to see human art. If I want to see perfect art, I would just go to AI because they can give me something perfect, right? But we go to JK, we go to these artists that we like because we want to see the human touch in it. We want to see them express their love, interest, and other things, and we want to get to know them through the music. And a lot of really hard-hitting love songs are not two people singing about how love is perfect, but then singing about how both partners are flawed. I was also very shocked to see some photos that were going viral, and it appeared to be JK out at a restaurant with someone on his lap. Now, keep in mind that these photos, much like all of the other dating or rumor starting photos, are extremely blurry. You can't really tell fully what's going on, and that tends to be what they prefer, because then the photo is up for interpretation, and if one person interprets it a certain way, likely everyone else will believe it because it can appear that way, and they might not make up their own opinion of it. The controversy or rumor comes from the fact that people already believe JK is dating a blonde woman from Dubai. So anytime they see him next to someone who is blonde, they assume that this is the Dubai woman. And in case you aren't fully aware, the blonde woman that he was believed to be dating wasn't someone that actually had a face. It was a concept of a person. It was a blonde woman who owned a jewelry shop, and no one else had the face of this woman. And I don't even have to tell you how dangerous that is, right? Because if this woman doesn't have a face, it can literally be anybody. And that seemingly was what the person who started the rumor wanted. Keep in mind, Asians love to go from black to blonde, and the hairstylist and makeup artist or staff that happen to be around JK can be one of those people who would want to bleach their hair blonde. So now anytime JK is with someone who is blonde, people assume that this is the blonde woman, and then it has to be someone coming out and saying, well, that's just a staff. But then it doesn't matter, because the blonde woman is a concept, and literally anyone can fit this concept, right? So anytime JK is with anyone that's blonde, the rumors will kick back up again. The photo does appear like there is someone with light colored hair on JK's lap. However, the photo itself is extremely blurry, as I said, and what could appear as someone on top of his lap could just be the angle of the camera. So if the blonde woman is more so facing the camera and JK is more so in the back, then it can appear that the blonde person is on top of JK. I think the craziest thing about all of this is just the fact that we can't actually see any of the details. So next time you do see a blonde woman or someone who is believed to be a blonde woman next to JK, and JK is supposed to be dating this woman, you'll be aware that the woman was never actually revealed, and we actually have no idea still who this blonde woman is. It's concepts of a dating thing. It's concepts of a relationship, and that's the craziest part, right? I can't believe they have full-blown rumors and arguments and fan wars over the concept of a relationship rather than an actual person. Like, people don't know what she looks like, which is so crazy to me, like how this rumor even got started with that. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. I'll link down below. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.